double level locking in singleton design pattern?
Yes, yes. So this is basically used when we are in multi-threading multi-threading environment. So what happens if we don't if we just use the synchronized keyword, as a synchronized block, and inside that we create the object. So and every time the object will be created, sorry, object will not be created, but synchronized block will be called, right? So a synchronized block itself have performances, coding extra, so it is a performance concern. So what we provide one if check before synchronized block also, and one if check inside synchronized. So this is what double checking lock. So this is basically to increase the performance in singleton.
Yeah. Are you aware of proxy design pattern?
Proxy, I am not able to recall, but previously I have studied, or I can give a small guess as per the name suggested, that it generally create the like we have some original objects, but every time it is not good that we go and create the objects and get the objects. So we just create the proxies. So instead of creating the original objects again and again or getting that, we just use the proxy. So it will save our time. I'm not means this is just an idea what I can recall right now.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, do you are you aware of Java 8 concepts as well?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay. So, can you tell me what is the meta space in Java 8,
Met
which has this function space?
Meta space. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. I'm not aware of this thing. I have like worked on the Lambda expressions and Stream API. I'm working right now.
Predicate in Java 8.
Predicate are like functional interfaces which are used in Lambda expressions to pass some filters as a filters.
Okay. Okay. Are you aware of difference between serializable and externalizable interfaces?
Uh, yeah, long back I studied that. There is a small difference. I think serialize is used to persist the object, and externalize is used to when we are getting the object. Maybe just a guess.
Okay. On executor framework.
Yeah.
Can you explain me what is executor framework and
Yeah. So executor framework is like in normally in multi-threading, what we can create pool of the threads, right? So that can be created by executor services, and we can use those threads again and again. And means this is good to use this executor services because every to increase the performance now there should be a pool of 10 or 20 like that, and we can create get it from executor services.
what is the difference between runnable and callable interfaces?
Runnable and callable, I think there is a difference between main difference is like in the return statements. Maybe runnable is not returning anything, but callable returns something. I am not sure what is that. I think task or what some, so that we can submit those tasks in the multi-threading using callable. But in runnable, it's just to create the threads. So in executor service, we generally use callable so that first we create some threads using callable, then we can submit those in the executor services so that we all those will be executed.
Okay. Okay. Then do you know the difference between executor and executor service interfaces and difference between them?
Executor and executor service.
Yeah.
I think both are like executors dot and there is a method new thread pool. Using this we can create the thread pool, and executor service is will use that particular thread pool to uh, similar way, like both of these are like used at one place only. So one is used to create the pool and other is used to run those threads in some manner like that.
Can you explain me a simple syntax of lambda expression? Can you write a simple lambda expression and explain its syntax? You can write it here in chat window.
Okay, so it would be like something like that. Parameterize. We do not need to give the signature of the function. We just need to give the what we want to the main logic, and it will automatically pick the functional interface.
Okay. Yeah, how can I create my own functional interface?
I think we have that at the rate functional interface annotation is there. So I
Yeah.
think we can use that.
Yes. Are you aware of concepts like SOA, service-oriented architecture, and
Mm,
a microservice?
yes. Long back, I got chance to work on SOA. So SOA basically, I was the main person who worked on that SOA part of in that project. So basically, we were having more than 40 applications, and many play applications also. So SOA was like a middle layer between communication of all those layers, all those applications. So in SOA, we were having some SOAP and REST API calls, which were consuming those APIs and returning some results, so that other applications can use those results. So that SOA is architecture is something like in middle layer, we have all the calling of the third party APIs like that for other applications. Microservice is something where it's not monolithic. It is different from SOA. So in microservices, every module is like a independent module. So if one module goes down, it doesn't affect the other modules, and user can get some responses. But in monolithic, what happen if system goes down? Then user will get sub 404 that everything is down. So that's the benefit of microservices.
Okay. Okay. Pratik, can you explain me difference between factory and abstract factory pattern?
Uh, Maybe I'm not sure. I think in normally factory, what will do now? It will just create a number of objects and a bunch of objects and collect it in at one place, and when which one is required, it will return that. So that is a factory. But abstract factory is like we have one more layer of abstract layer. I think it will restrict us to create the all type of objects. Maybe one type of objects we can create at what one bunch. Maybe like that. I'm not sure.
What is can I make any class static?
Static class.
Yeah.
Static methods. Static class. I think yes, we can make.
Can I make an outer class static?
Sorry,
Can I make outer class static also? Like I have inner classes closed.
outer. I think no.